It's all about that.
Well, you're the leader, so
Me?
I'll follow you. I'll follow you. Hare Krishna. How's everybody doing? Devotees of the Lord. Devotees of the Lord. Govinda. All right. I'm a poor substitute for Nandamoy Didi, but I wanted to take the opportunity to introduce our next panel of speakers. I think this is a mashup. This is two classes. This is the peanut butter and the chocolate, or the carob, if you're very strict, Vaishnava. This is the Bhagavad Gita class from this morning, and then Srileka Didi's class. I forget the name of the...
Well, it was put in something like navigating the ocean of Maya with the help of the all-pervading guru, if I remember correctly.
But you know it's going to be transcendental, whatever it is. Now, of course, the main struggle here is going to be to stay awake after that amazing lunch prasadam, is it not? But I'm sure this nectar, this will be the tulsi leaf on top of the cupcake, right? So, all right,
If we
so please,
fall asleep, you guys wake us up. If you fall asleep, we'll wake you up, okay?
we're in
And
this
this
together.
way we will go on
The
together.
struggle is real. All right, so please welcome Srileka Didi, Jai Ram Prabhu, and Sudarshan Prabhu. Jai.
Well, since this is kind of a merge, does anybody want to ask a question to start off with? Since we're going to be sort of on the same topic on different pages. Haribol.
It's kind of hard to ask a question, really, without... Wow, Krishna Shraya, amazing.
Always got a question.
You know what, Krishna Shraya? I wish I had a book of the answers to all your questions.
I just have one fairly simple question. What is the true meaning of life?
Piece of cake. Piece of cupcake. Well, the scriptures are giving a whole lot of meanings of
Let me
life.
go hunt you down. I drink this cup otherwise.
If we start, I think...
Everybody catch the question? What is the meaning of life, I think? The
What
true
is-
meaning.
What is the true meaning? What is the true meaning of life? Is my question.
I'll just give a really quick story that will get us started off on this topic. It's a story that we talked about with the older children this morning. And that is that the Veda was manifest along with the universe. And it came through the mouth of Brahma from the Supreme Lord himself. And that was handed down in disciplic succession. And at the beginning of Kali Yuga, which was like 5,000 years ago, Srila Vedavyas, Dvaipayana Vyas, decided that he needs to take all the extant knowledge, which had been only existing in sound form, but in the age of Kali, because we're so stunted, we can't remember anything, he wanted to organize it and set it down in writing. And when he finished doing that, he was completely depressed. He was despondent and feeling confused. And of course, when the need is there, the guru appears, and Narada Muni appeared and said, "My dear son, my child, what is wrong with you?" And Srila Vedavyas said, "I just gave the peace formula for all humanity. I organized all the Veda the Shruti, the Smriti, the Puranas, everything, the Upanishads. And I wrote it all down, and I feel no happiness from that. So Narada Muni said, that's because you did wrong. You did a wrong thing. Because you're Vyas, everybody believes you. And you only talked about dharma, artha, kama, moksha. You only talked about mundane things. You talked about penances for the sake of, power, punya. You talked about the mystic yoga system. You talked about dharma, sacrifices for elevation to the heavenly planets. You talked about mundane things like alchemy. And you didn't say anything about what is transcendental, what is real, what is the real life of the soul. You left that out. And now everyone's going to believe that what you gave in the Veda is all there is. So you did wrong. You misled the people. And Vyasa said, my Lord, what shall I do? And Narada Muni gave him 4 verses, which are the 4 seed verses of the Srimad Bhagavatam. And he said, those who have, one of the verses is this, one of the verses Vedavyas gives in the Bhagavatam, in which he tells this story. This Bhagavad Purana is as brilliant as the sun, and it has arisen after the departure of Lord Krishna for his own abode. And those who have lost their way due to the dense darkness of the age of Kali will get light from this Purana. So eliminating all mundane things which come in the form of mysticism, elevation to the heavenly planets where there are no problems except death, and what to speak of ordinary enjoyment available in this world, and eliminating, of course, all kinds of sinful things. When you take all that together and throw it in the bin, Gurudev said, throw it. Just paparya in Orison. Just throw all that and only concentrate on what is my relationship with reality, the beautiful. Then you have the purpose of life. First of all, we have to know what it isn't very clearly, and then we have to pursue what it is. And we don't want to deviate too far from the conclusions that have been given by our masters. Because if we start diving deep into the very scriptures, which Vedavyas said, okay, forget all that. Dharma protijakoitivatra paramonir matsaranam satam. All that cheating dharma, you forget about that. This book isn't about that. So we don't want to get distracted. To hit the eye of the bird, you all know this story, right? Dronacharya assembled all of the Pandavas. I'm only going to take 2 more seconds. He assembled all of the Pandavas, and there was a bird, like a wooden bird, up in a tree. And he told each one of them, like, for example, Yudhisthira, I want you to hit the eye of the bird with your arrow. Do you see the bird? Yes. What else do you see? I see the tree. You see the whole tree? Yes. Do you see the whole bird? Yes. He said, go away. And then each one of them, and then finally Arjuna came. And he said, what do you see? I see the bird. Do you see the whole bird? No. He said, what do you see? I only see the head. Do you see the whole head? No. What do you see? I only see the eye. He said, take your aim. Because And that Guru Maharaj tells this story because we need to be focused on what it is that is our deepest process, that is the essence, as we sing every morning, that Mahaprabhu came to give Antyancha Durlabha Prema, Karibare Dana, Shikai Sharanagati, Bhakatera Prana. That the Lord came to give this very rare thing, which is Krishna Prema, by teaching Sharanagati, which is the life of devotion and the life of the devotee. So how do we find the all-pervading Guru? It's not like we have to take a 12-step program and decide, change our mind and imagine this thing, it's going to make us feel a lot better. No, this is actually the fact. That every movement of every existence and all animation has come to help me to remove all of the dishonesty within myself. For what? For Him. All existence is for Him, and it knows it. I don't have to make this up. And I don't have to I'm just going to think that it's all for Him. No, it really is. And it knows it. This is all conscious substance. And we need to come into that mood also, that this is all for you, my Lord. All the circumstances of my life, whether I like them or not, it is to bring me into that divine flow of sweetness, which is your will, and I bow down to each lesson as it comes. This conclusion, Guru Maharaj said, this very circumstance of this very moment is the necessity for your progress at this time. We have to simply bow down and say, yes, my Lord, this is good for me. No matter how confusing it is, no matter how bewildered we feel, no matter how averse to this thing we don't like this, we will bow down and let Him change our angle of vision, and He will. And this is the life of our practice. Otherwise, our consciousness is not being affected by our outer activity. It has to be a conscious participation in trying to come into consonance with reality. And how do we know what His will is? It's what's happening. How long are we going to fight with that? Guru Maharaj says, you will run for enjoyment and come back with a slap. And then we go, oh, I got a slap. It was so unfair. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I'm such a victim. It's all nonsense. So anyway, that's just something. This is Guru Maharaj and Gurudev.
Shrilekha Didi ki joy.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry about that. Okay.
So you can. Life, Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam sees life as existence, and to exist is to be alive. And one example that we find
is pretty relevant to make us appreciate existence. Because Bhagavatam is not just simply trying to give you a benign answer. It should be potent. It should evoke something. And so it says, it gives in a shloka, it gives what is the highest, one of the highest exploitative things that you can do is to extinguish your existence. And in that way, it explains why you should try to live. Nardeham adyam sulubham sudurlabham plavam sukalpam guru karnadharam mayanukulena nabhasvateritam puman bhavabdhim nataret sa atmaha. And that atmaha means he is the real killer of the self. He is extinguishing his own existence, who does not realize that they have gotten this human existence without apparently expending anything. They have gotten it. And it says it is durlabha. But you have gotten it. Sulabha. You have got it without you knowing. So your existence, it begins to define here. Like, okay, now you should know that you have existence as a human being. And then it says that here's your chance. It says, if you can, as a human being, come to the stage of realizing that you're in trouble, find a boat, a literal boat, with an expert sailor, which is Guru Karnadharam. And the Lord is saying, Maya anukulena nabhasvateritam. I am at the back as the favorable winds for the sails. Maya anukulena, he says, I am there. Nabhasvateritam. And puman bhavabdhim na taret. If someone still does not understand that this is what it means to be alive and awaken to their inheritance, then you are actually extinguishing your existence. Now that is Atmaha. This is the only place where spiritual suicide is spelt out. So to appreciate life, you must understand what it is to extinguish. In that way, Bhagavatam explains. So, just wanted to give you that example.
A little dose. Nice.
Hare Krishna. I'm going to pass on the mic to...
Don't go into that one.
Thank you, Jaran Prabhu. Very beautiful, Mataji, Jaran Prabhu. You know, life is a funny thing. And we're all gathered here today because we have a little bit of a higher idea or a higher quest in life. But how does that often come about? It's a funny thing that we're born full of desire. And we're seeking pleasure, we're seeking gratification. And it's a very natural thing, right? It's actually something we don't really question often until something comes in the way of that. That's usually when someone starts going, wait, what's the point of life? So most people are just chasing after fulfillment and getting a little couple drops, just enough, TV or scrolls on the phone or like whatever it might be, right? Couple good dinners, some Taco Bell or whatever, right? Like, okay, I mean, is that, I'm doing all right. We're doing good enough. And usually it takes a little bit of a tremor before you start going like, wait, what am I doing here? What's this all about? And it's a funny thing that you're full of desires and you're constantly trying to gratify them and you feel completely unsatisfied. That's a mystery that has to be solved. Why is it that I'm dumping stuff into this hole in my heart and it's still empty? I'm unsatisfied, I'm in need. I'm unsatisfied, I'm in need. I'm unsatisfied, I'm in need. And then you can ask a real question, because you can come up to someone who's not hungry, who's not thirsty, give them the best food in the world, a whole bunch of water, and they'll be like, I don't want it, right? That's why you can go to so many people and be like, hey, here's Bhagavatam, like, can you actually believe this? And they're like, dude, what are you talking about, man? Like, I'm busy. But for those who's actually asked the question, wait, what am I doing here? Usually they've experienced some kind of earthquake to sort of shake the world up a little bit, where they can actually hear something. There's actual sincerity behind the question. And a sincere question gets a real answer. That's the principle of guru. Universal guru. You really ask, you really want. Srila Rupa Goswami says, Tatra lolyam apimulyam ekalam. There's only one quality that's necessary. Actual hankering for the truth. Actual hankering. So if you really want to know the truth and you're really asking the question, then the answer will come. Guruji gave a beautiful definition. Mataji gave a beautiful definition. We have to address the necessity that we have within ourselves. And we're fundamentally doing it wrong. So Srila Rupa Goswami defined there's only two diseases that can affect consciousness. One is called bhukti, the other is called mukti. And they're very correlated. Bhukti means exploitation. It means I see myself as the center and I want everything around me to serve me. And if it doesn't serve me properly, I call that bad. And if it does serve me properly, I call that good. And when it stops serving me properly, generally I have a complete swing on the pendulum. And then I'm like, wow, the world is actually bad. And I want to get out of here. That's called mukti. So the world is for me. Everything should serve me. Yes, yes, yes. It's going great. It's going great. Smack. Whoop. This place is horrible. I want to leave. I want to extinguish my existence. And there are religious paths for both of these, so-called religion. Here's how you manipulate the environment more subtly. You're not doing it wrong, right? You got to visualize it, and then it's going to do what you want, and you got to do it this way and that way. That's all bhakti religion. Manipulate the world better. That's what you're missing. Then you get smacked down, and now you're in the mood for some mukti religion. Here's how you get out of existence. Here's how you stop feeling. Here's how you eliminate diversity and variety, right? That's called mukti religion. And you can look at religions that have a goal of prakriti nirvana, religions that have a goal of Brahma nirvana, the elimination of diversity, the elimination of individuality, right? And at its highest point, both of those are just swinging on the pendulum. Exploitation, renunciation. Exploitation, renunciation. Exploitation, renunciation. There's a way that is fully satisfying to the soul, and it's called bhakti. And it means to dedicate yourself in each moment of your existence. You exist for a reason, and the nature of reality is so supremely consciously joyful that if you tasted it for one instant, your entire world would change. And these are what all the sages are telling us. You have to find the truth of that. And you can do it wherever you are in whatever stage of life that you're in. It's necessary to turn inward and turn to the Lord of your heart. He's always with you. Paramatma, Super Soul, and even deeper Bhagavan Sri Krishna. It has to be found out. It has to be found out to be truth. We're searching for that satisfaction. We keep dumping things inside of it. And guess what? It doesn't modify for it at all. In fact, we feel even more in need. Why? Because your need is infinite. And your need can only be satisfied by the infinite. It's actually the truth. You have to come into relationship with the Lord. And you have to come into relationship with something greater than you in one way. As a serving and a sacrificing unit. In other words, a unit of love. So Guru Maharaj says, the purpose of life is to become a lover of the infinite. That's the purpose of life. And it has to be turned to with all your authenticity in the moments of your real life that you're living right now. Whether it be here in the temple, or whether you're going to work, or whatever the heck you're doing during your day, all these things that we consider not part of our spiritual life are part of our spiritual life. Mm-hmm. We have to move into connection with Krishna through the grace of Guru in the moments of our real day. Joshua Gurudev Ki Jai.
And just quickly, it often comes up. Okay, we're talking about Sharanagati, we're talking about surrender. Oh, Bimal Prabhu, did you want to say something?
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. And
You were raising both hands. I was like, man, he's got 2 questions.
and a lot of times people will say, well, okay, you're talking about Sharanagati, or Guru Maharaj is always talking about Sharanagati. Gurudev's always talking about Sharanagati. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur always talking about Sharanagati. But how do you do it? Like, what do you do? Like, what does it mean practically? And like Sudarshan was saying, it's for all time, all circumstances, all places, all persons, everything. It is the perfect solution to everything, always. And that's why it's ahoy tuki apratiyata. There is no circumstance that is not about that. That's called absolute. There is no circumstance that is not arranged by the Lord. If we think there is, one of those four verses that were given by Narada to Vyas is saying, if you see some kind of amazing phenomenon and you think it has nothing to do with the Lord, that's called illusion. There is nothing that has nothing to do with the Lord. So Guru Maharaj said, Maya is an almost non-existent thing. I've written this down. I've got it on my wall. Quoting, he said, Swarup Shakti is what is existing. Maya is just an illusion. Where does illusion exist? Is this illusion? Is this matter? Illusion is in consciousness. It's misperception of what is real. So we need to stop misperceiving. But you know what that's going to take? Death. Death to the ego. I'd rather just, get up and scrub the floors. I'm not dealing with the ego. That's... when we have to face our own responsible decisions, that it's all my fault that I'm here in this position, that all the experiences that I'm having that I don't like are actually coming to rectify what I broke. then we are going to start making some traction in spiritual progress. And then Gurudev says, and for why? What do we want to do that for? For him. It is devotion that is nectar. It's not like devotion is to get nectar. Devotion is nectar. Devotion is the nectar that the Supreme Personality of Godhead wanted to taste, because he thinks it's made of something better than what he's made of. He's worshiping devotion. He thinks it's so valuable, so wonderful, so mysterious, so indebting to his own heart, that he's thinking, I need to feel that. I want that. It is devotion itself that is the cause of all joy. And the problem with my existence is that I'm devoted to some ghost called my personality that isn't even substantial. So we need to change that, and we can't do it. But the Lord can do it. That's why he's saying, Ahang tong sarva papebhyo mokshayishami ma shucha. I've got you. You surrender to me, I'm going to take all that out of you. Every drop of it, layer by layer by layer. Just forget all the religion I've been talking about. I'm right here. Surrender to me. I'm going to take it all away. I can do it. This Maya is mine. This is no problem for me. But you have to want me to do it. And that is the purpose and the great glory of association. Of course, first of all, the blessings of those who are holding that substance, Sri Gurudev, and the association of those who are practicing it, is the most. You take Brahma down to the insignificant microbe in hell, and the most valuable thing is the association of the fully devoted Vaishnava. And that is provable, and you can challenge it. Anyone who's been in the temple for a year is ready to defeat that. Any other idea? So anyway, that was just another thing.
How do you go?
Any other questions?
Any other thought or comment? Krishna Shaya.
Oh,
Are you clear on life at this point?
I think so. I think I'm going to be processing that for a while.
Of course.
I'm not sure how long.
Not easy.
But you gave me a lot to process and some wonderful stuff to process.
How do you go?
We have to keep revisiting this subject.
Like food, you gave
I'm
me
sorry.
food for the soul.
Yeah, it's not easy. Guru Maharaj said, the path of surrender is not a path strewn with flower petals. It's a battlefield. But at least we know the enemy. At least we know the enemy is my own tendency to delude myself shamelessly in order to feel myself the center of existence. That's the battle. Not an easy one.
All right, Bimal, was that a is that a stretch or no? Too quick.
Okay, can you hear me? Check 1 2. So my question is, so as we're going through our daily lives and we're trying to practice Sharanagati and seeing that the environment is ultimately friendly and coming to us, like, how do we distinguish the difference of what's coming to us to help us in like our own mind?
Jai Ram Prabhu. I mean, I'll take a shot, but you have to guarantee me you give us the actual answer, buddy. Okay. Hare Krishna. It's a difficult thing, right? Because we're navigating not just the external world around us, which forms our reality, but as we move deeper into the path, into the practice, we realize that actually what I call reality is only existing within the bubble of my own head. Right? My consciousness is where my world lives. Guru Maharaj in Subjective Evolution quotes Irish philosopher Bishop Berkeley, who said the mind is not in the world is in the mind. So the question you brought up is very appropriate because we don't understand ourselves at all. And that's one of the great mysteries of life. Not only do we have multiple layers of delusion that we're not aware of, but we also don't know what we're capable of either. So we constantly bind ourselves with limiting narratives, which are ultimately limiting the grace of the Lord. And we also tell ourselves stories that are very aggrandizing to our own ego, right? Such and such, a thing could occur 5 seconds ago, and I've already spun it into a story that I'm about to tell the next guy about how this other guy screwed me over. Now, that may or may not have occurred, but that's going to be the story, and that's just going to be reality, right? We're just these ninjas of self-aggrandizement and delusion. So the question is, something's occurring. How do I know? How do I distinguish between the grace of the Lord and what my own mind is deluding me into, right? It's a very developed question. So there's a practice to Sharanagati, as Mataji was saying. Srila Sridhar Maharaj is actually the giver of the greatest gift. Bhaktivinoda Thakur has outlined, you can say the first song of Sharanagati, right? Atyanta durlabha prem koribaredan shikaya Sharanagati bhaktira pran. That's what he says in the first song of his book, entitled Sharanagati. That Mahaprabhu came to teach Sharanagati. Okay, well, that sounds fairly important. Maybe we should think about that a little bit. So we have to practice this, but you cannot practice Sharanagati if you don't. My humble opinion, for whatever it's worth, if you don't come into the association of Sri Chaitanya Saraswat, you have to hear from Srila Guru Maharaj. You have to hear from Srila Gurudev. But they've given the steps of actually practicing Sharanagati. And in the beginning, we are learning to navigate. We're coming into awareness of our own patterns of delusion, right? But sometimes the awareness of that pattern, you could say one of the reliable ways that we can count on where the awareness of that pattern comes is through a difficult situation. So that in the beginning, right, that's very reliable for us because pain is a great maker of sincerity. When you're doing great, you can kind of just tell yourself all kind of stuff about how great you are. But when you're in pain, you're like, wait a minute, this isn't working. Now you have some sincerity, right? And so navigating that, Guru Maharaj said the highest shloka in all of the scriptures for abhideya, for practicing life, is given by Lord Brahma. And that's Tattenu Kampam Susamikshimana, right? So when we have pain, then we can have a little bit more of a reliable path through navigating our mind because the pain is real, right? We're feeling it. But we're also living a live streaming existence, and it's happening on many, many, many levels. And Guru Maharaj says, often you're going to be presented with inputs, and you have to learn to navigate those. ultimately we're moving to a place where we're navigating by feeling. Okay? The highest stage on this path is called Raga Marg, where you're actually navigating reliably according to your feeling, according to the service of the Lord. But until that time, Guru Maharaj says you're going to have to make decisions. And he gave a process for making decisions. You know, for bouncing what your unreliable mind is coming up with against some helpful inputs. And Guru Maharaj said there's 3 things that you have to have helpful input from. 1, you consult the Shastra. 2, you consult those whose opinion you respect. And 3, you have to consult your own honest self. Because in the end, you're the one with the hand on the steering wheel. And you have to test your own sincerity and make your choice, right? So you're getting input, advice from those that you respect and from the Shastra, and then you're meditating and you're making your decision. The great thing is that you're not in a dead reality. You're going to receive a feedback from your choice. You're living in a reciprocal environment. The organic whole, God's alive, in other words, right? So, you know, we have to learn how to navigate. We have to consciously self-examine ourselves, examine our own motivations, notice our patterns. But in the end, we have to navigate. And then adjust to there.
I'd just like to add to what Sudarshan Prabhu said, which is as it is beautiful. But if you're to consider navigating, which translates on the gross level to activity, because that's what people engage in primarily, is activity. This activity, that activity, or some other activity. So for that, Bhagavad Gita gives a really clear direction, and Guru Maharaj has deeply explained that. And it's a famous verse. Karmanyeva adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana ma karma phal hetur bhur ma te sangostva akarmani. And this is universal for any kind of engagement, whether at work, whether at home, whether making a choice of whether this is good or that is good, in every respect, in all karma, in all engagements with gross matter. This will help us. Which is karmanya ev adhikar. Your adhikar is only on action. Karmanyev adhikaraste ma phaleshu kadachana. Not on the result. If you analyze yourself, why you make one decision over the other is because you start to analyze, or I start to analyze the results first. Whether that will be more favorable to me, or this fruit will be favorable to me more. And that is what guides us. But here it's quite the opposite. It says no, that's not the right way. Because you only have, your jurisdiction is to perform action first. Not to waste your energy in going out there and trying to imagine the fruit and go, how wonderful that would be if I can get that for myself. Oh, what taste. Invariably, that'll be wrong. It says, Ma karma phal hetur bhur. Do not be driven by the result of the proposed action or engagement. But at the same time, then our mind can dictate that might as well do nothing. Because then it's going to be like mass confusion. This or that, I'll just not do anything. It says, Ma te sangostva akarmani. Do not just give up work. A, because it's not possible, and second, it's actually not good. So then how do we do? Guru Maharaj says that whatever it is that you do, try to consider not direct, like what's in it for me. You go to the infinite and then try to connect it to you. If you have that angle of vision, or if we can develop that angle of vision in everything that we do, we don't have to worry about it. Because I do certain action and I cast it towards the infinite. This is all for you. Now, I'm not expecting good or bad. Whatever comes is prasadam to me. So it doesn't bother me. The result doesn't bother me. My energy is 100% focused on what I need to achieve. Okay? I am not expending in like tasting, the mind fruit, which really doesn't exist. It's a mushroom. Yeah. I've cast it to the infinite. The infinite, from the infinite, he's adjusting for everything, everyone, all that lives at all levels. And then what he thinks is appropriate in my direction, that'll come as the result, and I should be happy with it. And if that is the outlook of me engaging at a gross level, then you can see how fine this is, explained by Guru Maharaj. There is no way that we can mess up. Yeah, even if we mess up, for that moment, for that activity, it's prasadam. Like, oh. So the infinite, he's my well-wisher. He looks after me. I am casting everything in his direction. And so why do I need to bother? And if we go with that flow, of course it takes time and effort. It's easier said than done, but it can be done. It is done. And so that is the ground level. He explained more subtle and higher levels. Mine is pretty basic. Anyway, Dandavat.
It's so sweet, though, what Sudarshan Prabhu and Jairam Prabhu have been saying. It's hard for us because we think, well, wait a minute, I'm trying to build a house, so I'm going to try to put a roof on it, so I shouldn't care about putting a roof on it, or... No, what the art is to offer that to the Lord. My Lord, I think I should put a roof on this house, and I'm going to do it for you. And maybe the Lord just like Gurudev, right? He bought this place in Vrindavan for the devotees, like away from the center, away from Srila Rupa Goswami Samadhi Mandir, like out of town, not anywhere near Rasastali or any of that. Because we're just like, we're just going to make a massacre. And it's like, I got to get these guys out of town. Immediately that was blown over or blew up or set on fire. Something happened, and it just was gone. And so Gurudev didn't go, oh my God, and I put all this money in. He's like, okay, I'm going to wait and see what his desire is. Offering that to the infinite will mold it in his own way, and that result will be so much more than we had in mind, without fail. What he will show us from that will be so much more, because we don't even know about that yet until that result comes. We don't know about it. We don't know it exists until he hands us that result. It's so much more than we had in mind. So what happened? mean, this is just an example. Or Gurudev said, then my dead phone, it was completely dead. No, not working, meh, rings, and all of a sudden this property right next to Radha Damodar Temple, right next to the Samadhi Mandir, 2 or 3 meters from Rasastali, right there at Imli Tala, right in the center, a few feet from the Jamuna River. Do you want this property? Well, I don't have any. Don't worry about the money. Will you take it? Okay. So that's why Krishna says only fools lament. Because I got you, Mashucha. Don't worry about this. You depend upon me. You can't. Guru Maharaj said, if you depend upon Nityananda Prabhu, all you have to do is tolerate the speed of your progress. That will be your problem. One thing after another, after another, after another, after another. So we want to put our hands ourselves in the and Sharanagati is not a means to an end. When Pundarik Vijayanidhi heard the word Sharanagati from Mukunda, when he and Gadadhar Pandit visited Pundarik Vijayanidhi, who is Brishabhanu Raj in Vrindavan, the father of Radharani, when that eternal associate of the Lord heard Kangva Dayalu Sharanam Brajema, what other sweet, gentle Lord will I surrender to? He went crazy. Just hearing the word Sharanam. He just tore his, expensive jewelry, knocked over these vats of valuable scented oils and strewn his expensive clothes all over the ground and falling, his hookah, he's smoking a pipe, threw all that over, falling down in the ground, Kangva Dayalu Sharanam Bhajema, weeping, just to hear the word Sharanagati. So this is eternal. This is the nectar of existence, is complete surrender, and entering by that means into Leela is based on Sharanagati. And Guru Maharaj said, will the slave section meet together and give instruction to the master? How ludicrous. They're just waiting. And what slavery is so horrible idea in this world. But anything short of slavery to the Lord is a despicable mentality. The nectar of slavery to the Supreme Lord, that is the life. Guru Maharaj said, let him play you like a doll. Anyway.
Continue, what did you say? Anyway.
Rasangi. What's wrong with this picture?
I just have to say that I've listened to your class yesterday. It was just so uplifting because it was very practical and hopeful. And I sent it off to a few people who were very inspired. So I love this too today. It's very high but very practical at the same time. And I wanted to address something that Sudhir said. And this is a quote from Srila Sridhar Maharaj. I'm studying his books like crazy right now. I don't know what's going on with me. But I'm kind of insatiably diving in. Okay, so he says we can feel within our heart whether we're the gainers or the losers. The tasting machine is within us. Hello, what? Yes. As we progress in Krishna consciousness, our karma, our connection with this material world will evaporate in no time. And spacious knowledge will come to satisfy us. And it gets better. At that time, we shall feel the object of our life everywhere. As you're saying, every wave is favorable. Everything that happens to us is a gift of love. Huh? If you had the vision to see it. And then the verse, my idristre ki kila manan. Yeah. When we can see that the fulfillment of life has embraced us, we shall see that everything within the environment is helping us. Everything is sympathetic to us from all sides. And then the last part, in that spiritual, this is the clincher for me. In that spiritual domain, everyone shall take interest in loving us. What? Everyone will take interest in loving us. We may be careless about our own interests, but the environment there is more favorable and affectionate to us than we can even estimate. Just as a child cannot estimate the extent of his mother's affection in this way, friends and home comforts will surround us, and with this realization, we shall go back home. Back to God, back to home.
Jai Guru
So
Maharaj.
much. Jai Guru Maharaj.
I mean, his words just cut through.
Yes.
His words cut through in the sweetest way.
Yes.
Like not, it's so delicious, right?
Yes.
And softening to the heart.
And actually, it's that type of gift of his words. It actually allows us to surrender, because we've been burned so many times in our existence that we've developed a hard heart and so much suspicion toward reality. And it's very difficult for us to actually let go and let our guard down. You know, we just sang a song earlier today. Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, Atma Samarpane Gela Abhiman. I've given myself to you and my ego is gone. Nahi korobu nija raksha vidhan. Which means I will never even think about providing for my own safety. And you think like, what? What? And then the rest of the song is just explaining the mood of the residents of Brajadham. How so many calamities are coming. It's not boring being with Krishna. It's not like you go up there and you're just like, wow, it's 75 every day and there are no mosquitoes. This is fantastic. It's like, it's not like that. It's so full of adventure and dynamic life and intensity. But there's such sweetness and surrender in all the devotees. And everything is coming to enhance that. So if we want to be a resident of that place, we have to have full trust. And those words that you just read, they allow us to take that risk. Because we feel afraid. You know, Janardha Maharaj said something the other day that I thought was extremely beautiful when he was defining Atma Nivedana. He said, it means to jump. This was at the top of the hill. He goes, it means to jump with no landing spot. Okay? It's like, are we ready to do that with our soul? But when Guru Maharaj is describing what the actual nature of reality is, how everything wants to love us and help us and has sweetness toward us, then we can say, okay, I'm gonna jump, maybe. Or maybe not. You know, like reach it. You know, it's like you're like falling off. You're like, but at some point we're gonna actually commit, hopefully. And, you know, Guru Maharaj has given us even more hope. You know, he quoted Saraswati Thakur and he said, karma is mercy. Can we change our viewpoint on that? Karma is mercy. Bhaktivinoda Thakur again, Nija karma guna doshe je janma pai. Janme jano tavo nam guna gai. I don't even ask to be released from my karma. All I ask is whatever birth after birth comes to me, I will have the chance to sing your name. That's trust, right? Even the karma that you're giving to me, I know is full of your sweetness, right? And I'm going to turn into it. I'm done turning away from reality. I'm going to like reset my psychic posture and go into it, you know, like Sharanagati, like let it come. And, you know, these hopeful words, like you just read, they allow us to overcome our hesitation, our suspicion, our fear of the very firmament that we find ourselves surrounded by, and actually go into it. So, thank you.
Guru Maharaj says, you know, this is not going to be so quick. I mean, it is quick. He says it's the shortcut. This is the shortcut to every circumstance, that we're not thinking, oh, this is the material world over here, and then I'm going to go over there somewhere to the spiritual world. To change our angle of vision, to see divinity flowing everywhere, requires that we will come to the plane of a blade of grass. And he said, mountains must be crossed. Oceans must be crossed to come to the plane where we consider ourselves lower than grass, because that's where the holy name resides. And there is no chanting of the holy name until that real position of the heart comes to that. So we have our work cut out for us. But we have the process, we have the navigation, we have the association, and we have the central reality by which we can measure our progress. The worst calamity of existence is not knowing that there is a truth by which we can measure where I am. That is instantaneous chaos and hell. Instantly. But Guru Maharaj said we are going from chaos to cosmos. From chaos to Vigyan, systematic understanding of everything and how to make my progress. And that's available up to us in every time, again, every circumstance, every place. We're not trying to get out of suffering by going somewhere else. Because if that's my goal, I'm going to get caught up in heaven if I'm not making too many offenses. And heaven is just a big kick in the butt, really. It's not real. It's not real. So if I'm thinking, I got to get out of this suffering world into the nice world, that's like the logic of half a hen. It is not really the truth of our Siddhanta. Our Siddhanta is that Maya is in my own eye. And everything is good except for me. And in every circumstance, to search for that reality is called bhakti yoga. And we can't get all schizoid about this. We have to understand this synergistic reality and keep discussing it with our friends.
Hey. What time is it? 4:43. Is there any other thought or comment, question, topic? Okay. That's a little dose for today, I think. That's good. Jai Srila Guru Maharaj ki jai. Jai Srila Gurudev ki jai. Chaitanya Saraswat Maharaj Acharya Vrinda ki jai. And jai to all the beautiful devotees at this festival. What an absolute treasure. Go Premanande Hari.
Right? Complete, absolute reality. Oh, and progressive and positive immortality exists only in surrender. Don't even think about progressive outside of surrender. It means that every single moment, every single experience is going to push me forward in eternity. It's never going to be finished. The infinite doesn't have any parameters. It's not, okay, the infinite ends in about 5 miles, so you better get in whatever you need. It's like...
Should we sing a beautiful kirtan of Sharanagati?
Yeah.
Okay, let's sing Manasa Deho Geho. Real song of surrender. Very beautiful. No. Jai Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur ki jai.
Can someone play cartons?
Kishori Didi, can we enlist you to actually sing, please?
She's got the video.
I got the small one.
Hare Krishna. What page is that? What page is that in the song?
What page?
Like 156 or something like that?
Oh, can I say something while we're looking for the page? One time, Vamsidas Babaji used to live in Navadvip.
It's on 156.
So Vamsidas Babaji lived in Navadvip, and Srila Saraswati Thakur told his disciples, you may observe him. Don't speak to him or disturb him, but you may observe him. So the devotees went with a big kirtan party, and they were playing the drums and having a big kirtan in front of his ashram. And Vamsidas Babaji Maharaj came out, and he said, you may break your mridangas, but can you break your heart? So these songs, we're not, we don't like the idea of kirtan performance. We like the idea that my heart is breaking and I need to hear these words. So let the environment break our hearts so that we can really take shelter in these kirtans. 156.
Manasa deho geho jo kichu mora arpilo tua pade nanda kishora. I should go up a little more. I'll go. Manasa deho geho jo kichu mora arpilo tua pade nanda kishora. O sampade bipade jivan mara janmayo bimo ye icha jadi tora bhakta grihe jani janma mora Kito janama hau jata tua dasa bahir mukha brahma janmenda hiyasa O bhukti mukti spriya vihina bhakta labaite taka sangayanurata janaka janani naitatanoya Prabhu Guru Pati Tu Sarva Moya Bhakti Vinoda Kahe Sunakana Radha Nata Tu Hamara Parana Nasa deho geho jo kichu mora ar dilo tu apade nanda kishora jo kichu mora ar dilo tu apade nanda kishora
Yes. Read the translation.
We go around, pass the mic.
Sure, yes.
I'll start us. Mind, body, and family, whatever may be mine, I have surrendered at your lotus feet, O youthful son of Nanda.
In good fortune or in bad, in life or at death, all my difficulties have disappeared by choosing those feet of yours as my only shelter.
Slay me or protect me as you wish, for you are the master of your eternal servant.
If it is your will that I be born again, then may it be in the home of your devotee.
May I be born again even as a worm, as long as I may remain your devotee. I have no desire to be born as a Brahma, averse to you.
I yearn for the company of the devotee, completely devoid of all desire for worldly enjoyment or liberation.
Father, mother, lover, son, lord, preceptor, and husband, you are everything to me.
Bhaktivedanta says, "Oh Krishna, please hear me. Oh Lord Radha, you are my life and soul."
Yeah, right. That was Indra voice. Was there one more? That's the end of the song.
Is there a coda?
No purport.
What do you think? It's a good song.
One more song, or we're kind of just over? Is the podcast happening, Didi? Oh. 3 minutes podcast?
It is. Yeah.
We can do one more song, right?
Okay.
Are you ready? Or?
Let's do more. This is page 176. Oh, are we doing one more song? 176. Yes.
Two more.
Okay, two more.
Okay.
Uh-oh. Isn't this scope creep? Scope creep, you know, like when the job's done.
Scope creep.
Okay, I'm going to sing this one. So this is called Not Entertaining at All.
What page is this?
176. I really like this song so much. And ready?
Look at the English. This song is so lovely.
I like having never done it. And you play pretty loud, but still, it's nice to have
To me Sarveshwareshvara Rajendra Kumara.
Sarveshwareshvara Rajendra
Okay, I won't be able to do it. No, I have to go higher. Sujana Sanghara. Tava icha mate Shiva, kore na samhara. Tava icha mate Shiva, kore na samhara. Tava icha mate maya, shite karagara. Sukha Sangatana Samridini Pata Dukha Sukha Sangatana Michai Maya Bada Jiva Asha Pashe Pire Nija balache sapati parasha chadiya. Nija balache sapati parasha chadiya. Tomara ichaya tachi nibara koriya. Bhakati vinodati vinakinchana. Bhakati vinodayati vinakinchana. Tomara ichayatara jivana marana. So we can pass the mic around again, Prabhu, if we can. This is so deep of a song. And I'm just going to say a tiny, teeny, tiny one line or two lines about the first verse, because it is the juxtaposition of Tumi and Sarveshwareshwara. Bhaktivinoda Thakur is referring to the Lord with the word Tumi. That's what you say to a dear friend or a child. And yet he's saying, you're the Lord of all lords. That's a really beautiful thing. And then he's saying, oh, you're the son of Nanda Maharaj, the Braja Endra. You're that boy. And by your will, creation and destruction take place in the universe. So we like the creation part, but we're not really down with the destruction part. But he's saying, no, that's you. That's gorgeous. Oh, you boy of Nanda. Anybody else want to read the translation?
According to your desire, Lord Brahma creates, and according to your desire, Lord Vishnu maintains.
According to your will, Lord Shiva destroys. According to your will, Maya constructs the prison house of this world.
According to your will, the living beings take birth and die, and according to your will, they meet with prosperity and ruin, happiness and sorrow.
The tiny soul bound up by Maya vainly struggles in the fetters of worldly desire. Without your sanction, the soul is unable to do anything.
You are my only protector and maintainer. Except your lotus feet, there is no other hope for me.
No longer confident of my own strength and endeavor, I have become solely dependent on your will.
Bhakti Vinod is most poor, and his pride has been leveled. Now, in accordance with your will, he lives and dies.
I'm just going to share one aphorism of Srila Guru Maharaj that I wrote down. He said, never do anything to attract anyone to yourself. Don't live a hypocritical life. And then he said, every fault in you will come out in the light of day by the arrangement of the Lord in the divine environment, and they will come out and be seen and destroyed. So it's like we're trying to actually just get rid of garbage. All of our manipulation, diplomacy, hypocrisy. Krishna's like, you know, you're very lovely inside. You need to get rid of this, and I'm going to help you with that. Anyway, all these things by his will are coming to help us with that. Yes, sir.
Didi, I'd like to make a little submission to what he just said. Tumi sarve Ishwara Ishwar Brajendra Kumar. Another meaning that comes to my mind is so beautiful, which is Ishwar is a controller. Ishwar, so controller of this universe is of this universe. And then there are multiverses, and each with a presiding Ishwar. As being said, you are the Ishwar of those Ishwars. The great
True.
Bhagavan.
Right.
And who you are is the Nanda, the son of Nanda.
That playful,
Just-
reckless boy.
Yes. So beautiful,
Reckless.
just encompasses. He's a lord of all the multiverses and everything there is. Such a beautiful thing, Didi.
Beautiful. And Guru Maharaj said, are you ready to live with the reckless, whimsical autocrat? Then start practicing. Let him do what he likes and bow down and say, yes, this is good, my Lord. This is good. Not that you're just going to have to sit in the temple and behave yourself and do good things for me. It's like, oh my God, why would you restrict him? Why would reality be for something else besides himself? Hare Krishna, Jai Gurudev, Hari Bol, Jai Guru Maharaj, Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai our Guru Varga, Hari Bol, Jai Tulsi Devi Ki Jai. Hari Bol, Jai Gurudev.
Jai Ram Prabhu ki
Jai Ram Prabhu Ki Jai. Jai. Hari Bol. Jai.